If you thought that humans only started leaving their mark on the planet a few thousand years ago, think again. Fossilized human footprints have been found in North America that date back over 15,000 years. These footprints offer a rare glimpse into the lives of the people who lived here long before the arrival of Europeans. It's amazing to think that these people were walking on the same ground that we walk on today. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will talk about fossil footprints that have been found in North America. Also, don't forget to watch this video till the end because we have a very recent discovery to share from Prague. So without further ado, let's start. Some experts claim that the examination of fossilized footprints found at White Sands National Park in New Mexico provides the strongest evidence yet that people inhabited North America far before the end of the last ice age. The prints were dated by the study, which was written up in the journal Science, to between 21,000 and 23,000 years ago. The head of Natural and Cultural Resources at White Sands, David Bustos, is a research co-author. We'd been dubious of the age for a long time, so now that we finally have that, it's incredibly exciting, he tells NBC News. One interesting fact is that about a meter or two above the human footsteps, you can detect mammoth tracks, which serves to support the narrative as a whole. The traces, which are sometimes called ghost prints since they can only be seen in certain weather conditions, have long been known to scholars. But the current research is the first to definitely date them to such a primitive time period. The dried ditch grass seeds that were discovered in layers above and below the footprint imprints were radiocarbon dated by the researchers to establish when the prints were formed. The evidence is quite compelling and really intriguing, says Ewan Galloway, an archaeologist at the University of Vienna who was not involved in the project. According to Carl Zimmer for the New York Times, many archaeologists believe that human habitation in the Americas first began towards the end of the last ice age, or about 13,000 years ago. The Clovis civilization in what is now New Mexico produces some of the first implements that have ever been discovered at that time. Hunter-gatherers could have been able to travel from Siberia to Alaska over a land bridge if ice sheets had melted as the Earth warmed. According to Maya Wei Haas for National Geographic, since the 1970s, additional archaeological research has suggested that humans may have entered the continent earlier, possibly between 16,000 and 17,000 years ago, via routes along the Pacific coast that became navigable while the interior of the continent was still icy. Additionally, some experts have documented evidence of a considerably earlier human presence in North America, such as stone tools with a 30,000-year age range. Others, however, have questioned whether the finds were really tools made by humans and whether age estimations are accurate. According to study co-author and University of Arizona archaeologist and geologist Vance Holliday, the new White Sands study is unique since the impressions were clearly created by humans. He declares, "It's simply blatantly evident." According to Cyprian Ardelian, an archaeologist at the Autonomous University of Zacatecas in Mexico who was not involved in the new research, but co-authored one of the earlier studies of ancient tools, the paper provides unambiguous support for the notion that people lived in North America at the height of the Ice Age. Some people don't share my conviction. According to Lauren Davis, an archaeologist at Oregon State University, radiocarbon dating cannot be fully believed in the absence of a second dating technique. The freshwater reservoir effect, which occurs when aquatic plants like the ones the researchers used for dating accumulate ancient carbon from adjacent materials, provides the appearance that plant material is older than it really is. However, the researchers claim that the problem was taken into consideration. The scientists dated hundreds of seeds from several levels, as reported in Nature. Instead of the more random distribution anticipated with the reservoir effect, the radiocarbon dating of the seeds was consistent with their position in the geological record, with older seeds on the bottom and younger ones on top. The new research, according to study co-author Sally Reynolds, a paleontologist at Bournemouth University, suggests that humans coexisted with large species like mammoths, giant sloths, and direwolves for a longer period of time than previously thought. The issue of what happened to the Ice Age residents of North America still has to be answered, even if the study's conclusions are valid. According to Andrea Manica, a geneticist at the University of Cambridge, there is concrete proof that the present Native Americans' ancestors diverged from Asian populations 15,000 to 16,000 years ago. Now, let's take a look at the discovery in Prague. In the Vino neighborhood on the outskirts of Prague, the Czech Republic, archaeologists are examining a 7,000-year-old monumental building known as a roundel. The purpose of the gigantic Neolithic constructions is still unclear, but experts are optimistic that further study will provide light on why they were erected, by whom, and for what purposes. Large, round Neolithic roundels were constructed between 4,600 and 4,900 BC. They are thus the oldest monumental constructions in all of Europe, significantly older than either the Egyptian pyramids or England's Stonehenge. However, these fascinating old buildings have been kept very well. The majority of Westerners are familiar with Stonehenge in England, which is considered to have been constructed between 3000 and 2000 BC, and some may also be familiar with Newgrange in Ireland. However, relatively few people are aware of the roundels of Central Europe, and there are mysteries hidden inside these Neolithic circular fortifications. The earliest traces of building throughout all of Europe may be found in the so-called roundels. They consist of a number of circular ditches that are always placed in a circle with 2, 3, 4, or more entrances leading to the center, with 4 being the most typical number. The number of circular ditches range from 1 to 3, or extremely rarely 4. The total height of the construction ranges from 30 to 240 meters on average, although 60 to 80 meters is where you'll most often find them. We know of ditches up to 14 meters wide and 6 meters deep, but they are typically approximately 1.5 meters wide, said Jaroslav Richt of the Institute of Archaeology of the Czech Academy of Sciences in Prague to Radio Prague International. The primary researcher of the study, Miroslav Kross, points out that despite these results, it is still unclear what purpose these buildings have served. One such proposal holds that it may have served as a commercial and economic hub. It could possibly have been the center of a religious cult where seasonal rituals or rites of passage were carried out. During the Stone Age, when iron had not yet been found, roundels were constructed. Stone and animal bones were their only available materials for making tools. Around 200 roundels have so far been discovered in Central Europe, 35 of which are on Czech Republic soil. The 55-meter diameter roundel in Vino features a distinctive floor design with 3 independent entrances. The function of the roundels may be better understood thanks to the ongoing research of one in Prague's Vino's neighborhood. Mr. Cross claims that the study is unique since the building has been almost entirely discovered by archaeologists. Now that samples have been collected for study, researchers should have more knowledge about the original structure according to the findings. Finding anything that might hint to the object's true age would also be fantastic. Radiocarbon dating has so far shown that samples taken from the roundels are between 4,900 and 4,600 years old. That stretch of time is very large. The Vino roundel investigation is anticipated to continue up to the end of September. Northeast of the roundel, archaeologists earlier unearthed the Neolithic village that had been occupied for 300 to 400 years. Well, that's all for today. In case you enjoyed today's video, kindly like and subscribe to the channel.